recording. Ah, that's it. It's recording now. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
So yeah, what it says actually you started looking at the data.
Okay. I think this project, the starting point to get data is a little bit hard for everyone. So let me explain. Fred, can you allow me to share my screen?
Yeah, cool. I've done it now. Yeah, we see your screen now.
Yes. Again, hi volunteers. I'm Satoshi from Tokyo, and I joined with For Social Good in 2018, I think. Yes, and this Bristol Prosperity is actually second project of this organization. Here is project page, and if in that project page, you can find button to get data here. In this Google Drive, this is Google Drive, you can find 3 files. One is just linked to brand center of this organization. This page is like this to get symbols and icons and color examples. You can use design dashboard. And one more is shapefile for village of Rwanda. I mean, shapefile and polygon file for Rwanda villages. And one more is Excel file. It's just a little bit tricky, I think. This is that Excel file, and this sheet is really important. It says what this project is for and how to make message or how to tell the stories about their impact or their vision and their action. One more sheet shows data dictionaries, and these 4 links to just small data file for describe background or impact of this project. But the important file is here. This is main file of this project, I think. You can download the big Excel file from here. Of course, it's Excel file, and this is this main data. One sheet is survey data for of survey to people working on bridges. Actually, where did they come from and where they are going to, and for what purpose, and how many people, child or women or men, and so on. One sheet is the place of bridges data, latitude and longitude, I think here you have. So you can join survey data and bridge site data, and you can plot there is a bridge and how many people use those bridges and so on. The detail is shown in this sheet, data dictionary. And that is the description about data source, I think. That's all for now.
Yeah, I think that's good strategy. For people on the call, and I noticed that Anna also joined a few minutes ago. Did you guys have any questions about the data, or it's pretty straightforward? Just don't hesitate. Open the microphone and just ask your questions. It's meant to be interactive session. Anna, where are you calling from, for example? Anna R. Where are you calling from?
Hi guys. So I'm coming from London.
Hello.
Sorry, I arrived a tiny bit late. But yeah, it's been interesting to hear Satoshi. Have no questions at the moment.
Cool. So Satoshi, what will be your strategy? Are you going to try to visualize the data from the survey?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah,
wow.
Next, I should explain about how to join or how to make relationships of
Nice.
data. Yeah. Here is survey data of main sheet of Excel. And you can make, I think, 3 relationships. One is relationships with bridge site data. Use bridge site field of survey data and site name of bridge site data. Again, survey data is this detailed data of each survey. And bridge site data is position data of each bridge. And one more is, 2 more, I mean, is relationships with shape files. If you download shape file from this Google Drive of this project, you will have one folder of shape files. This shapefile folder have many files, but you use only one file, red shapefile. I mean, .shp file, shapefile. This is shapefile. You can make relationships with destination unique ID. This is unique ID of really small bridges of destination of people. And bridge ID. Bridge ID is one field in shapefile. Also, one more relationship is home bridge unique ID and bridge ID. With these relationships, you can prepare survey data with bridge positions and village shapefiles. With this data, if you visualize, and at first, at first, I visualize with home bridge ID and geometry field in bridge shapefile. Here is geometry. These villages are home villages, the people who use, and I don't know how to pronounce, but Muregia Bridge, and so on. I think this is one way to visualize, to fair the people who use bridges, lives, and where they are going to. This is a map. That's all. I think I have to visualize more with bar chart or line chart, and so many chart. T overhead Did you try any visualization?
Can I check, is this the same data set as 2020? 2 years ago, I think we also have the survey data from B2P. And I'm just wondering if this is the same survey data set.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you-
that's the same. I'm pretty sure that's the same data set.
Same, right?
Just same or same field?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
pretty much the same.
Oh, I see.
Can I submit the one that I did in 2020?
I think what she's also very keen to find out is how we visualize the very sparse data sets. Like if you look at the data set, the one provided, I think there's one that there's only 2 measures, like the wages, for example, wage increase because of the bridge or no bridge, or floods, which are there's only 1 measure. So I think the survey data set is good for people who want to practice doing maths and that kind of stuff. But my understanding from listening to her, she's really keen for us to find ideas to visualize the very sparse data sets. And as you see, sometimes there's even no data set. There's no data.
Yeah.
If you bring up the Excel file, I think there's a few of them with no data. So I don't know if people have ideas visualizing 1 measure. Like, I mean, you can do maybe a big number, a big KPI number, but is there other techniques that people could be using to visualize only one measure? I think that would be the value. I don't know if you guys have thought about that before, or if it's something that, I mean, I haven't started my project anyway, but I'm just trying to think out loud as well. What would be the best outcome for her, or for the child?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
quite,
I guess you can. Yeah, you can definitely just show the one big number. It's just that if you then put it into a dashboard and then you give some filters for the users to use, it won't come up. It would just come up on the one scenario, I guess. Yeah,
because I think there's one, I think, which is raw. I think if you leave that spreadsheet on your screen, Satoshi, I think it's there's one that talks about wages. Like wages increase because of a bridge.
Yes.
And I think there's only one. I actually found a mistake, which I put on the Slack. I think they put the data the wrong way around. But basically, there's 2 numbers. There's $600 and there's $1,300 or something like this. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's probably the one up above. Is there one above? There's one about wages. That the fact there's, maybe it's row number 3. I can't remember. Hang on, let me check. I've got it. I've got my Excel file on the. Yeah, like this one, for example.
Yes.
So how do you visualize that kind of stuff? I think that's probably the big trick. And as I said, I think there's a mistake in this one because no, I think it's not this one. It's the other way. I think there's one about. No, I think there's another one. Let me check. Let me check on the spreadsheet. Maybe I'm wrong. But the idea is there's only 2 numbers to visualize. What is the process for us to visualize those numbers?
Could I ask maybe like the inverse question? Like if we only have 2 numbers, do we need to visualize them?
Maybe not. Maybe not. That's something we should explore as if you come up with clever design ideas. Like for example, for this one, obviously, and I think those numbers we got on the screen, I think they're wrong. That's why I put something on the Slack this morning. I think that's the reverse. I think the bridge income should be higher than the income with no bridge. It doesn't make sense. But provided there's only 2 numbers, like $1,000 for an income for bridge and $600 for no bridge, how do you visualize that stuff that's powerful if you don't use big numbers?
Yes.
So I don't know, Anna, do you have any ideas?
I don't. I was just before that. I was going to ask. So, do we have data for only one country, or do we have like multiple countries here?
I think only one. I think this one is Nicaragua.
Okay.
I think some. So I mean,
So
you
why
could-
do why do we have like precipitation in East Africa and Nicaragua? Nicaragua is in Central America, right?
yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think that is one of the countries that B2P operates in, and maybe they build small bridges in those countries.
Yeah.
So actually, Abby shared on a sample, a draft. So Satoshi, do you mind clicking in the link in the chat? It's the sample that is shared by Abby, and in there, I think there's some charts about, yeah, if you go to the last slide, the last page. So here the bridge effect on wage income is visualized. I think those are the two numbers that we saw in the Excel file.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And you can see that the bridge number is higher than the no bridge. So I think the
Yeah,
Excel
yeah.
file has a mistake. There's a mistake. But I think that's
Mhm.
exactly what the challenge is for them is
Mm.
try to come up with a nice visual
Yeah.
with only two numbers. So I think that we really need to stretch our creativity
Mm.
and find different ways. I don't know if I've got one idea maybe, but there's going to be ways to have an impact and create something that's impactful for them.
So the main survey data is same as 2020, but these 5, it's really simple, but 4 new data is very useful to story and impact
Yeah.
of this B2B project. So
Yeah.
I think it's better to use this data for this type of project.
So to answer a last question, I mean, if you can find other data sets for different countries,
No,
but I wouldn't do it because I mean, it's already complicated enough. So what do you reckon, Satoshi, would you stick with the data from Nicaragua, for example? I think that's the one that's provided, Nicaragua.
Nicaragua is that, I think it's Rwanda or
I think you've
I'm
got
not sure.
Rwanda mentioned and then
Rwanda.
also Nicaragua. So it just because
Yeah.
the only thing that confused me or threw me off was that you're trying to show the impact of bridges, non-bridges. And I thought we were talking about Rwanda, but then we're talking about Nicaraguan pesos. So I was just like thinking, even if we have the two numbers, it doesn't make sense to use them if they're not from the same country.
Yeah. But you could, because I'm looking at the spreadsheet now, you could use the number for Nicaragua for the flooding and the wage income, which is Nicaragua as well. And there's a 10% decrease in fraction of harvest, that's Nicaragua as well. So you got 3 numbers for Nicaragua, so which is on the spreadsheet row 3, 4, 5. Row number 2 is about East Africa, so this one might be a bit confusing. So you could potentially use those 3, the floods, the income, and the harvest, because those are for Nicaragua. And then if there's a way to visualize that information, and put it on the same chart or on the same dashboard, because it relates to the same country, maybe. I'm not saying that we should do it that way, but that's one way maybe to do it.
I guess like a way I could probably think about doing it is just show a map in general, like the whole world map, and then have the different 2 points. So one going to Nicaragua, then the other one going maybe to the right to Rwanda. And to each side of those points, you can add the little graphs of like the wage and the bridge and the staff distribution. So it's more like a case study of how your project has impacted different regions, and then you're showing the impact figures.
That would be good. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That would work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other ideas? What about Juhi? Juhi, I don't know how you say your name. You just joined or recently joined. Where are you calling from?
I just wanted some more information about the kind of stuff that you would do for Visual Social Good. So yeah, and that's why I just joined the call, just to get some more information about it all.
Cool. Do you have any specific questions?
Not specific questions, no. Like I've just been listening to the little bits about the data and stuff. So it's been quite interesting just to find out more.
Cool. I think the challenge is for that project. Normally we have a big data set. There's a single data set that we visualize and we turn into a dashboard. This one, there's multiple small bits and pieces of data, and sometimes there's no data at all. But I really feel that's the challenge for Abby, for the Charlie. They really struggle to visualize or to use that kind of data to make an impact. So I think that I like the idea of a map, and then you basically plonk big numbers or stories on the map. The stuff that Anna just mentioned, that could be a good idea as well.
Yeah, I'll think about that. I thought that was a good idea as well. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll have a look into it.
So Satoshi, were you thinking using the survey data again, or using those those smaller data sets? Or not yet?
Already I tried to visualize survey data in 2020.
Uh-huh.
And so one more finding is this project page have a key message for each brief section on the climate, environment, feeder, roads, and rural, urban. And so I think it's better to make more big picture dashboard.
Yeah.
I mean, not specific small data, big picture dashboard of their vision. And what they want to, how to change the world. It might be better. I think.
So there are 4 briefs. Do you think it's okay to combine them in just one visualization, or each of them have to be one separate visualization?
For the smaller data sets?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think I would make one big dashboard, make multiple sheets, because it looks like they're quite keen for us to print or to use that in print as well, or as an image or something like this, and then in the brief, as it said. So maybe there could be an option where you put everything to a dashboard, a Tableau dashboard, for example, but then offer the same as a PowerPoint, where you have all the charts, single charts in the same, in multiple pages on the PowerPoint. Might be a good option for them.
Yes.
That's why it's a bit tricky, this project, but that's why I think I like it. It's challenging. It's not easy, but
So I guess my question, because this is like the first meeting I've ever joined for Biz for Social Good, is it that we need to use the data set and come up with like proposals of how we would visualize this, or do we just like brainstorm right now and then it's Satoshi who's going to build something?
No, you build yourself. So now that's I mean, you could work with someone else, like if you're from the UK, for example, and you got colleagues or whatever, you could work as a team, but it's usually individual. So we all volunteer, so we all develop our own dashboards in any software you want. So if you use PowerPoint, Tableau, Power BI, whatever software you want. Some people even do drawings sometimes or cartoons, but that's up to you. So what we're doing now today is basically a bit of a Q&A and then chatting. There's informal, as I said, there's no agenda. We're just talking, fielding some of the questions. So we know some of the new volunteers are a bit shy and then don't want to interact much in Slack or that kind of stuff. So we thought it was a good way to basically get questions from you guys and sort of brainstorm about. But at the end of the day, Anna or other people on the call, that's free up to you to design your own stuff.
Got it. Thank you.
So also you can use any data you want, any open data, GDP or average income or any data in the world. Combine.
Yeah, as long as the data is public and then it's basically adding on to your story. So you might find some open source data about flooding or wages increase or income in I don't know, Nicaragua or somewhere there. So if there was a way to find where the bridges are built in Nicaragua, and then you find wage information from Nicaragua, you could do some stories around that. Up to you. How much time you want to spend trying to find some useful information.
Got it. Thank you. So is this coming from like maybe like an organization or a charity that is building the bridges? Because they would definitely have that information they could share.
So they probably have the information, but they only shared with us what's on the Google Drive. Because I suspect you would take them ages to extract the information from their systems. So I think that what the data they gave us is really what they want us to focus on.
Got it.
So Satoshi, the survey data for the bridge, that's in Africa, is it? Is it in Tanzania? From memory? Is it Tanzania,
It's
the country?
Rwanda, I think.
Rwanda.
Yeah.
Mm.
I found only survey in Rwanda.
Hmm.
Survey
Rwanda.
data.
Yeah. So I think they probably have the same kind of information in all the other countries they build bridges, but it's probably not as useful for them for us to visualize because they probably know where those things are. But if you can find the information, or if you want to ask on Slack, Abby, do you have the information? Is that useful? Feel free to ask.
Awesome. Thank you. So, guys, I'm going to have to drop now because I've got other things that I need to be doing right now. But thank you so much. And yeah, I'll check back with you.
Cool.
later.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Bye, Anna.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Where's KDH? Who's KDH? Are you BHR? Can you open your microphone and tell us where you're calling from? KDH.
Hi, I'm Karen Hamilton.
Hello.
I'm with the Data School New York.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hi. So I got up really
Hello.
early. So I'm in listening mode.
Of course, yeah. Is it 5 o'clock or something? Or
Yeah, it's after 5 in the morning.
you brave?
Thanks for joining.
So do you have any specifics, any specific question? Or because we're just basically brainstorming and chatting. There's no, as I said, there's no agenda. Any specific
You
questions?
know, I have a general idea of what, expected. Someone else in my group, Tristan, I think had signed up and had been to an earlier meeting. So I said I would try to come to this one
Yeah,
and maybe work with him on a visualization.
cool.
Mm.
Are you one of the coaches or you're a student in the data
I'm a
school?
student.
A student. You just started,
So
are you?
we just started 4 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And what would be the time frame in developing a visualization?
The deadline is.
So it is 15 July.
Okay.
15
Okay. Okay.
You got 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
But you can submit after deadline, of course.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's really meaningful.
And you can also work as a group as well. So you said if you've got other students in the data school that want to participate, and you can even get a project with a group. I don't know if it's possible with your data school or offline or outside for activities. If you got a few other students that are keen to work as a group, and then
Sure.
you submit as a group project. I don't know. There's no rule. It's really practice. We're just practicing our data skills, I guess.
Yeah, which is why I decided to sign up. So
Good. First project as well for you?
official project it would be, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I don't know how much you know about the data school. So in order to be selected, we had to create visualizations in Tableau, and myself and a few others, we'd never used or heard of Tableau before. So we had to create one in order to be screened. And then the second one, everyone was given the same data set. And then those who were able to create, explain, present it well, then they were amongst those selected. I'm sorry, I'm just very tired. That's all. I'm waking up. But yeah. So, and then, we've been training in Tableau Prep, and Alteryx. So,
Yeah.
we can all create visualizations to a certain level. You know,
Mm.
we've developed the skill sets. So
Yeah.
it'd be nice to apply it on a larger scale and for a good cause.
Good. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I think you can start with simple visualization. How many people use bridge and how many child or how many old people, and
Okay.
yes.
Oh, and you
Simple is
mentioned the
good.
data. Is the
Mm.
data being given to us? Or are we looking for the data on our own?
Satoshi, do you want to share your screen
Okay,
again? Do you mind
okay.
doing it again for?
Wait a moment.
So what's your name again? KDH, Katrin? Kathy?
Karen Hamilton.
Karen.
Yes. Do you know Biz for Social Good homepage already? Not
Okay,
yet?
I can
Maybe-
see it.
Maybe you can put
Yes.
the link in the chat.
Yes, you can. Biz for Social Good, you can go search on Google. And here is Biz for Social Good homepage and go to projects. Then you will find on top.
Okay.
Bridget,
Oh,
what's
thank
Bridget?
you.
Yeah, not yet, please. And it's a little bit hard. Here's access to data page. In Google Drive, here is one link and one shape file. It's a polygon file for geometric shape. And here is data dictionary. In this data dictionary, you can find the overall information and link to data. Here is link to data. Understand?
Yes.
That's all.
Okay, that's helpful. And the shape files I should be able to open in Tableau.
Yes, Shepard, and you can. They have a unique ID of small villages in Rwanda. You can join with unique ID of villages with survey data and shapefile data.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. Now, are people deciding, individually as groups, what aspects they're going to visualize, or will there be some, repetition of the visualizations?
No, you decide.
Okay.
So if you decide to work as a group with your data school, you might be working as a group of students. So you might want to tackle the issue as a group, but if you want to do it on your own, it's up to you to decide how you want to tackle the problem. So if you go on the Biz for Social Good page and read about the project or the challenges they're facing and the briefs about climate change and that kind of stuff, that's really up to you to decide how you want to visualize the data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to go back on mute if you don't mind.
No
And
worries.
again, thank you for answering my questions.
Pleasure.
Have a good day.
Do we have any other questions from Yataru? Do you have a question for us?
Yes, we have to make visualization, include message climate and environment. How include climate and environment on these bridge data?
I think it depends on you, and you can choose any message or any story you want.
Any story.
It's really hard to tell all of these 4 points in one dashboard. It's sometimes it will be hard.
Yeah, don't try to use all data. Would be too hard. So pick 1 or 2 If you pick the survey data, maybe use this one. But if you use those smaller data sets, don't use them all because it would be too hard, I think. I agree with Satoshi.
Okay, I'll try.
Or maybe pick one brief. The brief is basically the topic. So you might want to focus on climate or focus on feeder roads or rural, urban, or agriculture. So you pick one brief. So you might want to have a dashboard that's focusing on one of those briefs, but not all. I mean, if you got time, you can do all if you want. That'd be amazing, but I think it will be too hard, it's too much. What do you reckon, Satoshi? One brief?
Not decided yet. Maybe four.
Four? I think I'm going to do one brief, well, just a climate one.
Yes. Climate, yeah, it's very important, I think.
It's a little bit difficult to include all messages. Okay, thank you.
No worries. Have you started, or are you going to do one, or don't have time?
This time I might not have time to work on it. I just want to share my approach for my last few times working on the same data set for B2P. So I have so let me share my screen if that could help the volunteers a bit. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
Yeah, okay. So it's covering my sorry, not very familiar with it yet. Okay, so I actually have created the VIS for B2P 2 times. One is Makeover Monday back in 2020. So this is the data set for Makeover Monday. I think it's maybe it's a similar data set, but how I visualize the big summary numbers is like I treat this as a website. This is like a website style with a big image and then with some big summary numbers here. So maybe this is something we can do with the data set with very little data. Make it more like a poster design or a website design. Yeah, and just now we were discussing about the different countries, and the lady that already dropped off mentioned about Nicaragua. So actually Nicaragua has the is the 4th country that has the most bridges that B2P has built. So maybe, yeah, so that's Nicaragua, just Rwanda. And at that time, I also visualized like the size of communities served, and the bridge size and impact. So looking at individuals served in span of the bridges. And I think the last part is what I wanna share here, and maybe that could be useful for this time, because you know, here I did some research. So the story of Rwanda, I found this on B2P website about the story of this girl in Rwanda and how her life has been changed thanks to the bridge that B2P has built. So I got that story from the B2P website, and I built it here as a kind of story. And you can, yeah, I think there is more than one story here. So how we can get these stories is again in Bridges to Prosperity .org website. And if you look at this learn and under global work, this is what I found. So they have a few personal stories here, like stories of people whose lives had been touched by B2P. So we can see people from different countries like Rwanda, Panama, Nicaragua, which could be used together with the data set for Nicaragua that we saw just now about the wage income for bridge and no bridge. So this is a story that maybe we can weave into the data visualization. And here they have this nice view country data as well. So when we click here, there's some nice summary numbers that we might want to bring in to together to tell the story about Nicaragua, for example. So this is something that I found, and I thought that this could be useful for this brief.
Someone, I saw a question asking if you could put the link or your Tableau Public on the chat.
Yeah, sure.
I was trying to find it, but it might be actually easier if you do it yourself, because I can't. You got so many visits on your public profile.
Sure. Let me do that. Yeah. Or the link to my vis.
Yeah, the link to your vis.
Okay. I'm sorry, wrong button.
What's all? You can paste the link on the chat.
Okay, let me do that.
Yes.
Yep. So that's my first one, and the second one is for Vis for Social Good as well, which we did also 2 years ago.
Cool.
I think with the same survey data. Yeah.
Karen was asking for those, so you can get some inspiration.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I remember your piece, this piece.
I like the idea of having big numbers or big summary numbers with arrows, like as you call a website design more than the dashboard design.
Yeah.
That's something that could be quite powerful.
I like the weaving of the personal narratives. That's very powerful.
Yeah, true.
Thank you. Yeah, that could be one of the approach as well.
Yeah. We're gonna have to be creative.
I'm curious. Has anyone ever approached it to say imagine like commutes or imagine living without bridges? So like wherever it is they may live, like say here I am in New York. I live in Queens, I work in Manhattan, and every day I have to, even if we don't think about it, you take a subway, you're going through a tunnel or bridge. So has anyone ever done that? Like reimagine somewhere without bridges and then connected it to these places and how their lives are improved?
No, but that's a good idea.
Okay. I was just thinking, you helped me think about that just now. So, okay. That might be very helpful.
Because the purpose of the bridge is to connect the communities. So if Nicaragua, there's bridges between villages, when there's rain or floods, the villages are connected, so people can go to work, people can go shopping, go to church. So you see, if there's no bridge, you either walk or you stay home because it's flooded, especially in Africa or in South America, when there's no roads or hardly any roads, like we're lucky to have roads where we live. But yeah, that's a good angle. That's a nice angle. Karen, maybe something to explore.
So, as T says, the homepage of Bridge to Prosperity is really helpful for us to think how to visualize this data. It says if they don't have bridges, they need 2 hours to go to school and 2 hours to get fresh water and so on.
So yeah, make sure you read the website, because I think there's, as Satoshi says, there's a lot of information on the website.
Do you find, I have a question. Do you find any specific data for Nicaragua country in this project page? Or no?
I haven't. Maybe you can do a search.
Do you mean the data provided by B2B, Satoshi?
Yes.
Is the wage income, I think.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the wage income, because the bracket I mentioned is in Nicaragua, Cordobas. I guess that is a region in Nicaragua.
Okay. I
But
will check.
is there more information on their website about Nicaragua?
Yes.
Yeah.
Last time I only visualized the data of Rwanda, so this time I will try with Nicaragua data. Maybe.
Just searching as well.
I'm going to have to drop off, but thank you again.
No worries.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Thank
Ken.
you. Have a nice day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I just want to expand on the question I asked in the chat. So I know like the data we've got supplied for the current brief, I had a quick look and there's only like a sort of a few different tables. But I know the previous one had a lot of like quite a large data set. So I don't know if it was like, I was sort of just asking for the current brief, if we were to sort of look at the impact that British prosperity is having on people's livelihoods, would that still sort of be in line with what you're looking for, or would you rather us just stick to exactly what is written out in the current brief?
Good question. I don't know. I think they would prefer if we stick with the data that they supplied. Because my gut feel is that's the data they're really struggling to visualize for impactful information to their stakeholders. But having said that, if you find useful information from other data sources that they've got somewhere else, yeah, and it's adding to the mix and your storytelling, I think you could be using it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so if like we can use the previous data set to complement the current one, but just because there's only a few tables in the current at the moment, so I thought if there was anything else we could sort of add, it'd be quite handy. Okay.
Yeah, I would think so. What do you reckon, Satoshi and T? Is that a good approach? To use data from the previous or some from the website?
Yeah, either way is fine, I think. But if you stick on the data set provided by B2P and try to tell the story, it will be very good practice to make story with limited data.
True, yeah.
And also you can find any data from website and you can combine. It's going to be one more good practice. So either way is fine, I think.
Yeah. Maybe, Joe, if you create a dashboard, maybe the top section could be with the data they provided, and the bottom section or your other story could be with the extra bit of information you found on the website or somewhere else. So maybe like two
like half. Yeah,
kind of. Or you could have.
I had another. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could do that as well. I had another question about just like the level of like how, like I've seen some people's vizzes, like I think yours you're quite complicated and look quite really nice. Like, does it have to be sort of to that same standard, or is it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the volunteers are usually, most of them are beginners.
Yeah.
When we have a project, 50% of the submissions are from beginners, students. Like Karen, for example, she's a student from New York. So there's no minimum standard. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So it could be a simple chart with a key message and a key insight. And if you want to stick with one because you don't have too much time and get some practice on a specific type of chart or a bar graph or map or whatever, and stick with that because that's what you want to focus on, as long as the message is powerful. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a professional expert at all.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, don't use Satoshi. Satoshi is an expert. He's done about 20 projects. He's a master.
Zen
Everybody
master,
is
yeah.
everybody is beginner at the first.
He's the king of
also-
Visual Social Good. But no, yeah, it could be very simple.
Okay.
Yes. You don't need to use so much time. You can visualize in one hour session or 2 hour event and just try in that time and submit is really fine. No problem.
Yeah, is it what you do normally strategy with your Japanese colleague? You have a bit of a hackathon or event? Is that
Tomorrow?
tomorrow you're doing that?
Day after tomorrow.
So
Yeah.
you online? Is it online? Is it virtual?
Online, yes.
Yeah. So how much time do you do? 2 hours?
That time is, but I think 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, but
Yeah.
just like this event, talking about projects and purpose and data and how to visualize visibility. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For the dashboard, I know like on the brief it says you want something that's sort of printable or can be sort of a static image. If you did include like interactivity, like filtering, is that okay, or would that just not be advised?
I wouldn't. Looks like they want to use the dashboard in print, like or PDF, like the.
Yeah.
But are you going to be using Tableau or Power BI, that kind of software?
Tableau.
Tableau, because you're going to have to publish on Tableau Public. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the two angle is whatever you produce on Tableau Public can also be used by yourself to promote your own skills. So I wouldn't downgrade if you have interactivity, filters, that kind of stuff. Go with it, because I think it's good practice for us to develop that kind of stuff. And as you know, with Tableau you can export as an image.
Yeah.
Obviously, you won't have the filters and that kind of stuff, but I think there's 2 versions. So maybe the one nice version could be the dashboard with filters and interactivity, with even animation. But if they're keen to use your work, they can download as a PDF or PNG file.
Okay, that makes sense. And then I just want to ask how it works. So like, would we present what we made during that presentation call, and then they'll just pick whichever one they want to sort of use and take on themselves?
The way it works, if you go on the project page on our website, there's a submission form, which is a Google form. So all the volunteers are going to submit their work. And then when there's a deadline coming, I think in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I can't remember exactly the date. I think T mentioned that 15 maybe of July.
Yeah, 15th, I think.
So the charity is going to choose. Yeah, thanks. The charity is going to choose their top 5 projects. And for the live event, we're going to invite the top 5 volunteers to showcase to the charity their work. So if we have 50 volunteers submitting their work, we don't have time to have an event to present the 50 project because it would take too long. So that's why we're asking the charity to select their favorite top 5 projects. And that would be the event on the 23rd of July, which is a volunteer presentation project.
Okay, and then from those 5, then one will be chosen to be used by the charity.
Oh, they could use them all, but
okay.
Yeah, or they might have 50 presentations, because we basically share the presentation to them, so they will see the 50 presentation, and they might just want to pick one chart from one chart for the other, and then pick bits and pieces. But for the sake of doing a bit of a game, I think we just ask them to pick the top 5. And sometimes there's a winner as well. So the very top favorite project they found was useful for them.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, if you submit, you might be invited to present, or you might not. So that's really up to them to choose. We don't choose in Visual Social Good. That's really the charity that chooses. Okay.
For the Slack channel as well, I was trying to join it, but it didn't let me. I don't know if there's anyone who can help me with that.
If you ping me on the Zoom call now your email address, what I can do is I can invite you directly.
Okay, thank you.
I'm on Slack now, so I can just sometimes it's a bit tricky with Slack.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
So yeah, if you paste your email, I can just invite you straight away. Are you from the Information Lab as well?
Oh yeah, I'm from the data school.
Invite. Cool, I just invited you.
Thank you so much. Do you just go to my email? I just accept that. Is that what I do?
Yeah. So you should get a
Okay.
link from Slack. You probably click on it and you just join, and you should see the channel called Project Discussion. So that's the one we use to interact with the volunteers, with the charity, if you have questions, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm just clicking through now.
So are you one of the students as well?
Yeah, I'm one of the students there. I'm in the UK data school. Yeah, I'm on my first placement like there. So like we get sent to a few different companies during our 2-year contract. So
Yeah.
I'm on my first one now. I'm just completing that at the moment.
Cool. So which company are you working now?
I'm working at PwC at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I'm moving on to BAE Systems, I think, in 2 weeks' time.
Cool. I'm quite familiar with the data school in Australia because I'm in Australia.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then there's a couple of people in my work in big retail that actually come from the data school. The students as well. It's a good program.
Okay.
It's very good.
Yeah, it is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you get a link? Julie?
Yeah, I'm just clicking through at the moment. There's a lot of codes and stuff I need to like
Yeah,
sort of
cool.
double checking it's working.
I just saw you coming in. So on the left hand side, you should see in Slack, there's a few channels. So you should probably one that's called 02 Project Discussion. Do you see this one?
I can't see it yet.
Hang on.
Just 1 second.
02. Let me see if I can, because I can see you. I can chat with you.
Oh, I
chat.
got it now. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, 02 Project Discussion. Yeah, okay.
There we go. So in there, basically you can read what other people have submitted in terms of question. But if you have a data question or if you're a question to a volunteer or to us, just
Okay.
use that. You can tag someone and people try to respond to your inquiries.
Okay, so the Slack's just basically to get any like issues we have with the data, or like if you have any questions about making the viz, then you can just send it on here. Oh, okay, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Or if you want to showcase your work as well. So when you're finished with your Tableau Public file, you can just post it in there and get some feedback as well from the volunteers.
Okay, thank you. Are there any like sort of key people that we should know about, like that I should just keep in mind?
On Slack, yeah,
like anyone to sort of message. Like I know someone's just done at Abby and just uncertain people. Yeah, is there any sort of key people we should keep in mind?
No, if you look at because I posted a message yesterday asking Abby something, and Abby looks like she's traveling overseas, but there's someone called Christina Barstow.
Okay.
So usually I would tag, if you have a data specific question, basically just tag Abby and Christina. If you look at my last message, and those are the volunteers, the volunteers from the charity, from B2P.
Okay.
But otherwise you can tag anyone or just T and myself and other people from the board. We monitor Slack all day long.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, here is Slack page.
That's it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll do that if I get like stuck or anything. Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions I had for like this morning. It's been really helpful to like learn a bit more about it. I might not, I don't know if I'll have time to participate in this one, but I'll try definitely for the next one. Yeah, it seems like a really good cause.
Sounds good. All right, I think we probably need to, I think T had to go as well. So I think we probably need to wrap up. So
it was really nice meeting everyone.
Yeah, same. See you online somewhere.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Satoshi. Thanks, T.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Wataru.
Brad. Thanks, Satoshi. Thanks,
Yes.
Wataru. Bye.
And I'm going to share the
you. Bye.
recording.
ありがとうございます。
Bye.
ありがとうございます。
あれ
Bye.
これかな
See
Have a good
you.
night. Good evening. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
See you later.